Will Gold Rush Season 10 feature Parker vs. Rick rivalry? The miners are getting ready to head north for the Gold Rush Season 10. Now that Season 9 is done, a lot of the extra drama has been hashed out. Most of this drama has been between Rick Ness and Parker Schnebel. Has this set up Parker and his former foreman for a Season 10 rivalry? When Rick started his first season as a new mine boss, he wasn't even close to being prepared for the mining season. Most of the reason is that his mother passed away from a brain tumor in March 2018, just weeks before he had to leave for the Yukon. Once he arrived at his Yukon claim, with his Milwaukee pals, who all lacked any gold mining experience, he needed to scramble for equipment. He knew his old mining boss Parker was going to give him a bonus, but he didn't see his money. Rick got tired of waiting and went to see Parker to get the money he thought he was owed. He felt bad he was put in this uncomfortable position. Parker didn't think he needed to give Rick a performance bonus because he quit his crew. Yet, Rick noted that Parker got 2 jet boats for $50,000, and he spent nearly $3 million in repairing and buying a new dozer. In the end, Parker gave him $50,000, about $30,000 short of the money that Rick thought he should have received. He was furious at Parker, and it is clear that this friendship is now sour. Was this the reason that Rick didn't join Parker for the new season of Parker's Trail, Papua New Guinea? No. Rick explained on The Dirt that he needed a break. His previous off-season was in Guyana, then his mother's illness and death. Then, he was scrambling to get ready for his first season as a mining boss. He needed the time off to catch his space. Chris Dermott has summed it all up best when he explained that Parker thought that Rick was very close friends. It appears that Rick has always just considered Parker his boss, and his pals are clearly his Milwaukee friends. Parker has seemed hurt about this betrayal and says that Rick Ness does not like me. This may be a foreshadowing for Season 10. This small bonus scene was a brief encounter early in the season. But, because it was recently revisited, it seems that Discovery is setting up Parker vs. Rick. Will there be other situations? Right now, the only person that Parker may run into is Tony Beats, as Parker and his crew try to get water and a road through Tony's claim to get to their own claim. What do you think about the Parker Schnebel vs. Rick Ness rivalry? Do you think that Parker was obligated to pay Rick, or do you think that Rick forfeited his bonus when he left Parker? Please share your opinions below in the comments field. Don't forget, Gold Rush. Parker's Trail Georgia Macatello has several decades of writing experience, including travel writing, tech writing, art history analysis, and now entertainment writing. She loves to share the latest news on rom-coms and mysteries. Gold Rush Season 10. A feature on the Parker vs. Rick rivalry as Gold Rush fans prepare for the latest season. One of the most captivating dynamics in the show's history is unfolding. The growing rivalry between two of the series' most prominent figures, Parker Schnebel and Rick Ness. In Season 10, the stakes have never been higher as the two gold miners compete head-to-head for the riches of the Klondike. This season, the tension between Parker and Rick reaches new heights, creating a storyline filled with ambition, pride, and grit. In this feature, we'll explore how their rivalry shapes the season and examine the dynamics that have led to this intense showdown. The roots of the rivalry to understand the gravity of the Parker vs. Rick rivalry in Season 10. We need to look at their history together on Gold Rush. Parker Schnebel, a young mining prodigy, first appeared on the show in Season 2, quickly earning a reputation for his impressive work ethic and ability to strike gold. Under the mentorship of his grandfather, John Schnebel, Parker began his journey in the mining industry, learning the ins and outs of the business. By the time Rick Ness joined the crew in Season 3, Parker was already established as a force to be reckoned with. Rick Ness, a former musician turned miner, initially worked as Parker's foreman. The two developed a close working relationship, with Rick guiding Parker through the more challenging aspects of mining. However, over time, Rick began to feel the weight of Parker's success, especially as the young miner's operations expanded rapidly. Although the two men shared a mutual respect for each other's abilities, their goals and visions for the future started to diverge. In Season 9, Rick made the decision to leave Parker's crew and start his own mining operation. This decision marked the beginning of a shift in their relationship. Rick's departure wasn't just a professional move, it was also an emotional one. Parker had relied on Rick for support and guidance, and with Rick gone, Parker found himself as an independent miner, free from Parker's shadow. The rivalry that developed over the course of Season 10 was fueled by a mix of ambition, pride, and the desire to outdo each other. The clash of styles what makes the rivalry between Parker and Rick particularly compelling is the difference in their approaches to mining. Parker's style is methodical and calculated, while Rick is known for his bold, risk-taking decisions. Parker's experience has made him a meticulous planner, relying on data, logistics, and a steady hand to drive his operations. He's learned to balance the pressure of running a multi-million-dollar operation while keeping his team on track. For Parker, every ounce of gold is the result of careful strategy and execution. Rick, on the other hand, is often willing to gamble on his instincts. His approach is more hands-on, preferring to jump into the trenches and take risks that Parker might shy away from. In many ways, this makes Rick the more impulsive of the two. Where Parker might hesitate to make a move without weighing the risks, Rick's approach is about going big or going home. This clash in mining philosophy is one of the central tensions of their rivalry in Season 10. Parker's methodical approach has often resulted in steady, consistent yields, whereas Rick's risk-heavy tactics have led to both big successes and massive failures. This difference in their strategies makes the rivalry even more intense, as each man strives to prove that his way is the best way to strike it rich. The battle for Klondike's Gold Season 10 is where the stakes are raised even higher. Both Parker and Rick are determined to come out on top, but neither is willing to concede ground. Parker is working on his most ambitious project yet, mining an area rich with gold that has eluded others for years. Meanwhile, Rick is not sitting idly by. He's pushing his crew to its limits, trying to outpace Parker by tapping into an untapped gold reserve. Both men know that their success, or failure, will hinge on their ability to mine the Klondike's rugged terrain and weather the brutal conditions of the season. The presence of this gold-laden terrain makes for high tensions. For Parker, the challenge isn't just about getting to the gold, but about securing it faster and more efficiently than Rick. Every decision Parker makes is with the thought of beating Rick to the finish line. At the same time, Rick isn't just trying to catch up, he's trying to one-up Parker. The rivalry drives each of them to work harder, take more risks, and make decisions that may not always be in their best interest, but ones that will give them the edge they need to outlast the other. Throughout Season 10, we see a number of direct and indirect confrontations between Parker and Rick. From disputes over mining methods to battles over who can extract the most gold from a given area, the competition becomes fierce. Yet, the rivalry also highlights an undeniable respect for each other's abilities. While Parker may criticize Rick's more reckless decisions, there's no denying that Rick has a knack for thinking outside the box and pushing boundaries. Personal stakes and emotional investment while their rivalry is largely professional, there's also an emotional component to the competition. Parker, despite his outward confidence, has always relied on those close to him for support, especially his grandfather, John. With John's passing, Parker is left to carry on the family legacy alone. This emotional weight has undoubtedly contributed to his drive to succeed in ways that go beyond financial reward. For Parker, mining is more than a business. It's a personal mission to prove that he can live up to his grandfather's legacy. For Rick, the competition is equally personal. His departure from Parker's team was a bold statement of independence, and Season 10 is his chance to show that he can succeed on his own terms. Rick's desire to prove himself is palpable throughout the season, and his rivalry with Parker is as much about asserting his autonomy as it is about beating Parker at his own game. The impact on the crew. The rivalry between Parker and Rick also has a profound effect on their respective crews. In the cutthroat world of gold mining, the pressure to perform is immense, and both men demand excellence from their teams. Parker's crew is well seasoned, with many familiar faces from previous seasons, and they understand his style of leadership. While Parker can be demanding, he's also known for rewarding hard work and loyalty. His crew respects him for his experience and leadership, and they're willing to go to great lengths to ensure his success. Rick's crew, on the other hand, is still adjusting to his leadership. As a new leader, Rick faces the challenge of maintaining morale while pushing his team to take risks and think creatively. Some members of Rick's crew might question his more aggressive approach, but Rick's drive to prove himself pushes them to work hard.